for me, man. Let me out. Send me back the pictures that smell pretty. All I gotta do is call once and she there already.
Yeah, buddy.
Can't you tell I'm going through hell? I don't even open my mail.
I'm in the shower with a soap in the towel.
I need cleansing. Bad bitches all on the prowl. They need pencils. Pussy niggas running their mouth and we ain't flinching.
Let me turn that off, man. I'm gonna keep pushing the limits and keep playing the music, and they're gonna keep sending these emails saying that I'm not allowed to do this. It's weird that they send me emails talking about, you meaning me as like the person who's streaming, like streamer can't monetize. Fam, we're not big enough to make money off of this. This is not something that's being done for money. Y'all don't have to keep sending me that email. I feel like YouTube does that to let me know how small I am. Hey, you trying to use this for money? Nah, you're not, because your shit's weak. No, it's not weak. It's lit. But at the same time, it's just small. So I don't understand why they keep hassling me as if I'm using the songs that I play at the beginning to somehow make money off of this. It's not a thing, man. We're trying to show love to the people. That was J. Cole, Before I'm Gone, Friday Night Lights. God, that's such a hot mixtape, man. Remember the first time I heard that? I was still like on the tail end of my rap career. Very short. But when I listen to that Friday Night Lights tape, like even still to this day, J. Cole will make me want to rap. Like there's just something about that tape. It just brings it out of you. And I'm not going to lie to you. Some of my shit is still fire. I was listening to this J. Cole tape today and I was, let me give him these little bars. And I was like, oh, okay. I was saying okay to myself. Like I said, sometimes this shit is hot. This is a very, very short show. So welcome to the show. It's Lunchtime TV. Before I'm Gone. Oh my gosh, man. That's a cut. The reason why this show is going to be short is because I ain't going to lie to you. I feel like going to do other things. Now, it's not that there's not a commitment to the show. We're going to do the show as planned, but they're just, I don't know, man. I feel like I'm starting to drift back to where a lot of the stuff that I'm finding to talk about is starting to get back to just like more negative shit. So we're not doing that. So I figure we'll roll out the lineup for next week. Also, I do have like a little thing that I want to touch. It's funny that I saw this today. And I'm going to talk about it. I'm also going to say I'm just giving perspective based on how I have observed the way people act after breakups. You're probably wondering what the fuck I'm talking about. I saw this thing today on Twitter where somebody said, basically something to the effect of, if a person breaks up with you, do they have the right to get mad if after 2 or 3 weeks you go off and then you end up like hooking up with somebody else, basically? And I was like, that's an interesting question. And having been on both sides, as far as being the person who's being broken up with, as well as being the person who's doing the breaking up with, I wanted to read some of the comments just to see what people would say. And there were I was surprised that a lot of people were like, oh, that's grimy and you're trash. And if you do that, and I'm like, but wait a minute. Why is the person that got dumped trash if they opt to go do something else after the other person has already opted to not choose them? Because I don't know if they're actually thinking about it like that. If you, as the person who's doing the like initiating the breakup, it's because you're opting out of your situation. If you choose to quit your job, you don't get to come back and hassle you don't get to hassle your coworker if they find somebody else to work your position. regardless of the amount of time that has been elapsed. Now, somebody did say, oh, well, like it could be foul if like it probably could seem premeditated if you already went out and did that so soon and da-da-da-da-da. And I'm like saying basically like, oh, they already had somebody waiting. I mean, maybe you could say that, but again, you as the person who initiates the breakup, you are not in a space where you can get mad at your former partner because you've opted to not be with them. You chose to quit. And then if you're on the other side, if you break up with the person, like, do you really care if they go out and they do other things? If you opted out? How do you end up even caring about that? I know what you're all going to say. Well, it's because they still care. I'm like, yeah, but like, nigga, that sounds like a personal problem. Because you opted out. That's the thing, is you can't do that. You cannot quit your job and then get mad if the people that you used to work for, work with, your employer, whatever, if they go out and they find somebody to fill your spot, you can't get mad about that. And I know that's a weird parallel, but at the same time, I don't know. I think it was weird that people were in those comments saying that the person who was to get dumped would be considered trash if they ended up like, even if it's just, you know, playing with some private parts. How can you be mad at that person? You opted out on them. This is not how that shit works, man. And that's the thing, is I think some people are just crazy enough to believe that even though they break up with you, you still like are theirs for some reason. Now, I'll tell you, as somebody who is probably widely known for being somebody who will engage to a certain amount of time, and then after a while, I kind of just be like, this ain't for me. Backsliding, I feel like, happens for everybody. But it would be crazy for me to give any of the shorties a hard time about them going to do other things if I walked away from them. Doesn't make any sense. Because if I make the active choice to go do something else, regardless of what happens after that, if I find out about it, I am in no way, shape, or form in a place to go back to that person and be like, I feel some type of way because I heard you did this or I saw this. No, because I opted out. So for me, if I walk away from you and you go fuck somebody, you go do something, you go put somebody else's balls in your mouth and shit, like, cuz that impacts me none. That balls joke was funny though. I'm dead. Listen, I'm easily entertained, and the word balls still does it for me. I don't know. Maybe I'm 34 going on 13. I don't fucking know. We immature over here. Why is it so funny? But anyway, you don't get to say anything to that person. I'm also on board with the theory that if the situation ends, I let you know where I'm at. And on multiple occasions, you let me know that you're still not having it. Say less. And I know that there are girls that I used to talk to that from time to time will watch this show. They can tell you. Ask some of them. When's the last time you talked to this nigga after your little situation ended? And a lot of them will probably say, fuck, he don't talk to me. There are some people that I fuck with heavy that I'll be like, yo, what's up? How's everything going? But once we not in that space no more, it's over. Because that's what it should be, right? Especially if you or myself, we opt out. What I look like giving you a hard time about you going to fuck with somebody else. That doesn't make any sense. So yeah, I'll be on there like liking the pictures on IG. I think that shit is dope. If you ended up finding happiness, that shit is dope because that's what this shit is supposed to be. Y'all niggas supposed to be happy. If you're not happy with me, oh the fuck well. But I still want people that I fucked with at one point or another to go seek and find the happiness somewhere else. That shit is important. Because if I told you in the beginning that I fuck with people for a reason, and I don't mess with lame ass people in the slightest. So anybody I've ever come across, I've always told them that from jump, I want what's best for you, and I want you to do your thing. I want you to be happy. So even after the fact, there's been some people that have done me bad, and I still am on board with the idea that I still want them to do well. We don't throw dirt on people's names. We don't give people a hard time. Shit. My ex probably out right now on a date. Nigga, best of luck to you. I hope the shit work out in your favor, cuz. No need to be salty or be mad. All those things, they start rolling up into each other, man. It's just weird that, like I said, so many people were saying that if you go out and you do that after you've been dumped, that you're trash. Like, nah, man, because some of these people really have love to give. And then y'all be expecting them to stay by themselves after you break their fucking heart. Like, that's not how that shit works. We're not actually meant as people to be by ourselves anyway. You guys ever think about that? And y'all be out here playing with people, gassing them up, doing all the things, and then you just throw them to the wayside and then be giving them a hard time when they go out and they start going having experiences with other people. That shit is crazy. Crazy. All right, man. Let's see. Books. I'm still in this Truce book, man. That shit is dope. I have not started this book, but it's a book that I'm reading for school with one of my students. It's Boy 21. I don't know. I read the back of it. It's about basketball, I think. I don't fucking know. Basketball, superpowers, or like space travel. I don't know. It's something. The cover looked crazy. And I was like, yo, let's just read this. It's gonna be wild. So I'm gonna keep y'all posted on that because this may end up being a good book. I know that there are a lot of mothers and fathers that watch this show. If you're looking for ways that you can engage your children, this might be a good book for you. That's why I brought it up on the show. Anyway, we try to at least inform a little bit and put people on the good stuff. Where is my phone? That motherfucker skedaddled. I don't know where the phone is at, cuz. I probably left that shit in the car. That's what I've been doing all day today. I just been leaving stuff places. For all we know, my cell phone is still back at my job. I don't know. But that works out great for me because I'm just not really in a space where I want to text people like that or call people or have people call me. So the phone being lost, this is probably the best thing that can happen to me. It actually feel more peaceful in here because there's no damn phone. Okay. Next week, starting on Monday, we are going to do some real specific shout outs. And I'm talking about running down people's resumes, all these types of things, telling beautiful stories because it is Women's History Month. Let me tell y'all who I talked about today, though. And this is how I'm going to close out the show. Do you guys know who Ava DuVernay is? Oh, my God. Just amazing. I'm showing this small documentary about her to one of my students. If you're wondering, what does she do? She's an amazing female director. And I have to specify that because she has done something that no other person or no other female had done, especially a woman of color, which is double great. So she ended up getting $100 million budget for a movie called A Wrinkle in Time. It sounded like, because I didn't watch this movie. But when I saw it, I went back, I did watch the trailer, and I was like, holy smokes, like Shorty directed this? They spoke very highly of it on this documentary. I'm actually probably going to watch this junk tonight because I want to see what all the hype was about. But I also want to see why they were saying that it wasn't that good, and then why immediately after that did they give us the breakdown of the panel who said that it wasn't good, which it was majority men, only like 22% women, not a lot of women of color, like, and it just was weird because we've seen and heard of them doing that before to certain shows and movies where these people will be like, well, this stuff is not that good. And it's probably because they're just being haters. But she did that. If you've ever seen the 13th documentary on Netflix where it talks about the prison system, that is unreal. I've probably watched that 5 or 6 times, and I feel like every time, especially this last time, I feel like there was things that I didn't hear before, and I was in more shock than I was the time previous. because it's very intense. It basically it lets you know what our prison system is. Regardless of how you think or feel you want to try to deny it, that's fine. I don't care. I'm not here to argue with you. We're not going to do all that. She also directed Selma, which is a crazy movie. And it was interesting to know that originally that script was supposed to be about Lyndon B. Johnson. And then she basically flipped it and made the character, Martin Luther King character, the more like prominent role, which I think was dope because no one was wanting to give a F about Lyndon B. Johnson. No offense, bro. Rest in peace. I don't know you like that, Cuddy, but I'm just saying we care more about Dr. Martin Luther King than we do Lyndon B. Johnson. Come on. That one's a no-brainer. It's very simple. That's like it's bachelor party, strippers or no strippers. We all want strippers, right? It's obvious, right? It's one of those things. Not a conundrum. It's simple stuff. It's 2 + 2 = bam. You already know what it is. Anyway, Ava's wonderful. And obviously, you know, I'm somebody that I don't follow a lot of like film and entertain as far as directors and stuff like that. Like you hear names and stuff like that, and you hear like a couple of facts every now and again, but you never really get the like full picture of how great somebody really is. And I was very impressed. So I definitely plan to be more of a fan of hers, check her stuff out. I think anything that you know is coming from somebody who's out here exceeding expectations, defying the odds, while also putting out really great content, gotta support that, man. And she's Black. And on this show, we support the fuck out of Black people. You know why? Because why not? All right, man, I'm out of here. It's Women's History Month. Shout out to all the ladies, man. And listen, fellas, if you watch this, just shout them out. And like I said on the other show earlier this week, don't just go up and be like, yo, shorty, your booty's banging. And that's not the move this month, my nigga. If you really feel like you can't control yourself and not do that, at least lead with something that's not a compliment about their physique or how they look. And then what you do is even after this month, you carry that over into all the other days of the year until the end of your time. No one knows when that is, but just try to do something, and this includes myself, try to do something a little more than just being like, hey, I like the way you look. That's probably all they hear. You just look good. You're fine. You're gorgeous. I say this shit all the time because women are beautiful. And they're like, oh yeah, thanks. Yeah, they're tired of that. And like I said, don't just do it this month. Do it every month going forward. But this month, try to shout them out for an accomplishment, something that you already know and that they don't have to tell you. Try to take more notice about the ladies in your life and learn about what they are actually doing in their day-to-day, everyday lives and celebrate them for those things. And even if it's not anything crazy, make them feel like it is. Like, this shit's crazy. And then get in the habit of doing that all the time, man. It'll probably be better for your life. I don't know. Shout out to all the ladies. We love y'all. I'm out of here, man. I will be back on Monday.